Hello. So I thought I'll make a few things clearer. Now, I'm just getting into the habit of regularly making content like this available, but I'm thinking more in a less dense matter because I got to know a lot of people have a difficulty digesting big content. Yeah, because it's like people have small mouths, yeah, and small containers. They can only bite little bits of information. So 60 seconds worth of distance run reels, 60-second reels will make sense when they can look at the matter. But this is just to clarify that what I'm making available is not, oh my goodness, big all thing, and we're just going to close off. Okay, let's just say things as has been functioning has had certain math problems or certain calculation concerns. And what I'm doing is correcting the math that's already there. If things are not adding up and they are not making sense, yeah, where we are headed, what we are doing, why we wake up in the morning, what becomes possible from doing things, when that math has not been thought of enough, then we have problems in life and people keep worrying what to do, yeah, worries. So I'm bringing certain stuff into the fore so that those concerns which give rise to problems in a way that has you be worrying, oh my goodness, instead of, okay, now let's work on that one. Problem is not being seen as a, you know, let's solve that, that will be something versus, oh my goodness, we have another problem. That problem is what I'm talking about. Because you don't know certain things, you're having, oh my goodness, we have a problem. And then you go to therapists. They don't know that math needs to be corrected. Okay? There's also algebra, geometry, arithmetics. Now I'm talking about mathematics. A lot of people didn't know. I've been talking about this some time. So some people know that mathematics itself has not been able to be seen in perspective. And because of which we've been having pathematics, the pathways we go, the mother-father relationships, all kinds of challenges. So I'm bringing forth certain details which I found in the course of facilitating health. And the Sri Chakra is a nice frame of reference, but a lot of people haven't been able to understand the Sri Chakra or what it brings forth, what is it representing, and it's not complete in and of itself because there are several hidden figures. Yeah, you have dots and dashes and curves and things, but how is this related with things? What are the different details? This is more like a frame of reference from where you can have better understanding. It's kind of like you hold on to something. You have your vision board, yeah. You have your goal cards, yeah. You have different um, bits of information, several kinds of details, and you'll be like, yeah. You may be even having an umbrella by which to, okay, which is to say, in a previous video, I said I'm functioning from an umbrella, a scarf-based umbrella. Security, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, fairness. From last year to this year, that has changed. Yeah, we are functioning from a different way of thinking. MITI is functioning from a different model of business. So there has been a lot of internal redistribution of units. So I have to make that video, but first I need to submit certain important details. But having a frame of reference makes life easier. Some people may be having an umbrella. Some people may be having their own business intelligence, something by which to hold on to. And then some people have a logo, some people have, what have you, a dream catcher, like a wheel with woven stuff and something to remind you of of different details by which to then hold on to. So in one frame of reference, you have many things to look at. Some people have a billboard or a pin-up board in front of their workspace. So it's not about ascribing meanings and then working from there. That could also be one way to look at it. According to the values you place in them is how you then function. And then when you kind of say, put love, And then you discover, there are several details about love. It could be so complicated. And then you discover there is another set of range of details by which love is not going to kill. Yeah, it's going to make things better. So love has been quite a killer in civilization. So how then to, if you're only going to put something so vague that you don't know, it gets ambiguous. Which aspect of love do you mean? Yeah. So you got to then finely refine, and maybe instead of one word love, you'll have to put 10 other words. Yeah, then work from there. So I'm functioning from, let's just say, the anahata. Um, Flowering is how they speak about it. I saw a video um, by this Dr. Sudhir. I will look up the name. Yeah, he's a director of Institute of Advanced Studies, and he's been talking about the Kubjika Mata, Sri Chakra, many such details. And I've been thinking that's all good, and I was thinking I don't know if I've not seen the videos where he's talking about advanced stuff, or the stuff that kind of more matches what I'm talking about. He did mention about Shrishti in relationship with Kali and all those details, but I don't know how much has he worked with it, not worked, I don't know. But there is math that works and math that doesn't work. So I'm paying attention to the way he talks about Sri Vidya, or about several such details, is more humaner. So vis-a-vis other people whom I haven't quite seen with these kinds of details, the amount of details that he's been speaking about. So nevertheless, I'm doing this work. So I'm just kind of looking at what shows up as you walk the path appears. And I saw videos from this person. And then there's a better understanding, kind of, that my work is not suitable for everybody. It's for people who have a body that's human. Yeah, for human beings living life in the multiverse, Shrishti optimization. But everybody is not ready for everything that I'm speaking about. Yeah, so there are levels, layers, L0, L1, L5 basics, and then several things. When I'm talking about enlivening life in the multiverse, and I'm talking a human body is designed to enliven life in the multiverse, we may not even be looking at the Sri Chakra in perspective, yeah, or the dot, or the circles, but Sri Chakra is at least a frame of reference. So I'm bringing the Sri Chakra into perspective, into visibility. Those who have not seen or heard about it can at least look at it as a frame of reference. And then that's not the only thing. That's a frame of reference. There are, in terms of sacred geometry, there are many circles. Yeah, many wheels. It's like like let's just say a machine, or a system, and you have only one wheel or one frame, and that's not the whole thing, but you have something to begin with. Yeah, something to hold on to, like a big puzzle piece, and you're one piece, but you got one piece, and then there are other related pieces. Okay, several other details. So for us to have a stabler, finer, healthy, wealthy, wise life, sustainable, such that problems are resolving and you're finding more solutions, I bring to your attention the Sri Chakra. And I need to tell you that you would need to draw it. And you would need to draw it in a particular manner, like length and measurements, particular sizes. Yeah. Because you could do any math, any number. You could just, okay, so just draw a line. You have this big a paper, so you draw the circle that big. Yeah. Makes a difference. This is something that I discovered over a few times. Once I started drawing, I discovered people are drawing with their own math, like including 17 centimeters. Now I'm seeing that is now, yeah. And there are problems with those details. So I'm just putting this out there that what is coming up is also a few little details, small webinars, Instagram reel. I'm still thinking about what to put there because what I'm saying may be big content. So how then to then say little quiet notes, yeah, in reel format, so that it's much more comfortable for you to then, when you're readier, to then see webinar content. small webinars so to make the Sri Chakra clear. But it's not about the Sri Chakra. It's about you have a frame of reference, but what has it be your frame of reference? We all have a body that's human. And if we just generalize it as, oh, human body, then you miss the uniqueness of each person's constitution, composition, and how each person is valuable in their own ways. And you have to appreciate each human body, each human being in their own unique perspectives, for which you need to draw your own Sri Chakra, right? And there are certain measurements which, when you draw in that way, you're more likely you're becoming to sustainable. Many math already included frame of reference. Otherwise, you would be calculating an error, and you would be repeating that error in several dimensions with every drawing, with everything that you keep repeating. When you're drawing, when you're making something, you're thinking about something. You're thinking certain measurements, thinking certain alphabets, maybe ways of thinking, and you would keep repeating that. So you could be repeating an error. So if you're not doing the right way, and I'm speaking from this is my development has been happening since many years, 2013 at least, but I got to know about the Sri Chakra before then. But then over time, as I've been facilitating health clinically, the framework has been getting finer to the point that into the dot of Sri Chakra so I'm having a person-centric model of the universe, and it's sustainably showing up in terms of science. The science of least effort, action with least effort, the science of axiom of choice, the math and sociology and consciousness and several such thought lines, several mathematical problems or problems that hasn't been able to be solved are seeing a perspective from where there are no contradictions in life is something that I found. And I also found if there are contradictions, there's a lack of perspective. And when you see the problem, the context in the right perspective, contradictions resolve, or paradoxes resolve, or problems begin to start finding solutions. So there are such sentences, um, ephemerisms, you would say, but these are arrived at. And you could just take that sentence and then you could contemplate on it, but before it would help when you're having a perspective from which these would then make sense. So I'm beginning to help us have the ingenuity, the genius, beability, doability, and that requires a certain frame of reference. So we used to have people who used to bring forth genius creatives, compositions, values. And what I'm finding is there's a sustainable pattern that's forming, and there's a particular way by which I'm improving things, by which to make things available. So we have those original genius cultures. Shrishti optimization is what my work's about. So webinars, little, small content, because otherwise it become big content, and then it becomes a little difficult. So what I'm working on is improving stuff. So what is already existing becomes other than with having problems. So that you're seeing problems in a way that, okay, that's this thing, and it's not something that jostles you and then has you go into all kinds of spaces, which is other than integrative, which is other than harmonizing, that disturbs you. Yeah. So when we begin to see problems as this, when you're solving is going to bring better harmony, then that's when you look at problems other than a thing to worry about, and then, oh my goodness, yeah. So, or having to take medications or nutraceuticals to then be able to hold the composition and then to be able to work with. That's called artificial intelligence. You know, you're dependent on things, and that is keeping you alive, or that is keeping you functioning apparently ingeniously. Yeah, because you're not doing things because of you, you're doing things because of things around. And then to be able to recalibrate when, say, light has an effect on your body, or electronics or different people have doing their frequency, energy, vibration things, having an effect on you, and then you being able to turn things around so that you're being you and you're being human, not other than that. Otherwise, you have like COVID virus having an effect on you, and then you're having a little sniffle, and your body composition is becoming a little more flora fauna, viral or bacterial or fungal, and then you're being less you. Yeah, that wouldn't do as well, because you got to maintain being you and being human and doing your work. Yeah. So while I'm talking here on a screen, I have this influence of the screen, and the speed at which I'm speaking is also getting influenced. But after this, I go offline and I recalibrate my system such that I'm being more me. And then, of course, I could come back and then have another conversation, which could again then affect me. But then it's more like you have your vehicle that you service regularly. When you service it regularly and when you service it sufficiently, optimally, it functions for a long time. And functioning the human body, servicing the human body, such that you're functioning how you need to be while you're interacting with different kinds of people, small groups, big groups. So, say you're going in the traffic, that's amongst many people. You may not be talking to anybody, but everybody is functioning by their own physical, mental, intellectual health. And there are quantum mechanics, particle physics, and wave physics, all stuff happening, including the smoke from vehicles has an effect on your ability to breathe. Yeah, you could sneeze. And then you got to recalibrate so that you're not getting a disease. Yeah. So you kind of get a little hang of how important is what am I talking about? Yeah. Otherwise, you have doctors and engineers and many kinds of people available to fix the problem that you're faced with, but that's a lot of money. Yeah. And we have skills, technical details, many things, but we continue to maintain a sick economy, and people would like to be multiplanetary species, and life is having a problem with, your trouble on the planet itself. You can't even clean your own planet. Yeah, you have satellites and landfills and all kinds of details. And we also have the movie Wall-E for a reference for how much we need to take care of our own planet, our own self. And over at least the 2 years of the pandemic, I've been doing the work of Wall-E, cleaning the fabric of time space, and I'm continuing to do that, such that the Overton window says that we are maintaining being civil and becoming better. And people have been thinking about, well, many kinds of projects. Now they're thinking about harnessing the solar energy from the sun directly. Yeah. So there are thought lines which has become possible. And then we still need to have saner thought lines. Yeah. Like I'm thinking about limiting life in the multiverse from just having a body that's human. So the more people we have more learning this, there will be a small critical mass by which the how much is just enough will be known. While there are people working on instruments, we also have to devise those instruments by which to measure how things are working. So layer, stages of development. So depending on who's joining the course, you would be part of those people who are in limiting life in the multiverse. And then while there are other people forming devices by which to measure what needs to be measured, health versus disease, such that our own landfills are getting less and they're all getting utilized. And then you'll be able to appreciate how are we seeing this planet, stars, galaxies. They're all bits of information, or more like balls of information. Yeah. Particles and wavicles, small and big particles and waves. Yeah. Um, and then how to appreciate information, and then how to listen, because there is information of all kinds. And then you're busy doing download and upload without processing information, and then you're in trouble. Yeah. So it's also called metabolic concerns. People eat food. If you're not metabolizing the information well enough, you could have lifestyle diseases. So metabolism, human functions, human everyday activities centered around human multiplicities. Yeah, we have an economy, and we have food, and we have community, and then personal care and family, and then love, and then emotions and intellect, things around humans. That's what I'm working about. Yeah, so human itself is quite complex. And then humans came from other plants, animals, and microbes, and earth, water, fire, spirit, space, and all. So we got lots of details. So they got infinite content to study. But what I'm talking about is, you would say things you already know. But if you already knew this, people would not be. We have the Kardashev civilizations course, and people would not be kind of looking at, if there is life out there, why haven't they contacted us? Yeah. Alien thought lines. And there is even this person who's talking about temples being representations of aliens. Yeah. So how much of course correction I have to do, you can just imagine. So we have lots of YouTube content coming up. Yeah. I don't know if they will allow me to point a camera at a temple and then say, this represents not an alien. Yeah. Because it might not be conducive to favorable thought lines. Yeah. Because you like to think about aliens, ooh, because that's something you don't know and you're scared of and you like to know more about. That's not how things are. Yeah. It's much more simpler than that. Or more like when metabolism improves, we have had COVID, like microbes, and then humans formed over time. So humans are the most dangerous organisms on the planet. It's more like humans have a reason for being in existence. Other aliens may have had a reason, but that was not conducive to what life was about, what suffices of life about. Humans have a composition which aliens per se don't, which is why human beings sustain. And I'm keeping the Overton window open because of how I'm metabolizing information. I'm digesting aliens. How about the COVID? Was it an alien? That definitely got a lot of people on ventilator support. And then the humans work. Humans, nice, very nice. Yeah. The idea of Sri Chakra and human being, very closely related. In terms of the Kundalini, Kundalini is related with fertility. And how we metabolize information from just having a body that's human maintains fertility. It's like put the microbes into tilling the land, for example, or plants to do better work, so that they're not toxic. When we eat plants, they are more supporting our becoming and development. If you're going to eat meat, I would recommend you don't do that because it makes difficult. It takes a lot more to digest it, and then you can use that energy to do some work. Yeah, and then for example, if you have boiled egg, it causes heart relationship concerns. It brings a little this. Yeah, it causes fights because of how egg is, what metabolic pathways boiled egg goes through. For example, egg goes through versus meat versus fish, metabolic pathways. Yeah, you could get into a fight because you had egg, and if you're particularly if you're not digesting it well enough, and it takes some extra movementless yoga so that the egg is not causing relationship challenges that day or in that space. Yeah, and if you're not digesting well enough, you don't know over time space relativity, and then you know how things are showing up. But we got a lot of content. So um, I will just Kundalini, when we have birth rate concerns and fertility and those kinds of challenges, we have to talk about human concerns, how to maintain being human and a humane being at that, such that you don't have to use temples. They have these powerful weapons. Yeah, without that, just having a body that's human, how you can disarm, so to speak. Yeah, so that people are not having to take weapons. Kantara, spirit, yeah, all kinds of spiritual, and then a lot of people died, yeah, according to that movie itself. Yeah. That we are maintaining being alive. Says that life does not have to go wild on you. Yeah. And then you're put in your place and then think about what you need to think about. So all that stuff, just nice, all beautiful. How do you work with microcosm and macrocosm? Microcosm being all kinds of microorganisms also in your body. Yeah. So that you're not having health concerns or livability concerns. Also, macrocosm is, for example, Kantara and spirits and things you can see, can't see, yeah, many kinds of intelligences. So it requires meristem intelligence, yeah, original humane intelligence, facilitation. Yeah, these are all different details. So how to maintain fertility such that you're maintaining Shishti optimization, creativity, Shishti optimization, yeah, from just having a body that's human. Yeah. So you already have a body that's human, which means you already have the textbook that we're going to be studying for some time. Yeah. Over and above which additional material will be provided as you join my courses, classes. Yeah. Small little details, have one-to-ones or webinar or content that I place in different online media. So that you can look at them. I could recommend videos, songs, movies. So small details. We have discussions, come to better understanding. So it's an entire university or multiversity, or more like, let's just say university, yeah? University.com of almighty.inc. Like, Inc is like incorporated. How to have you be incorporated in your own life. Otherwise, you're kind of out of the body experiences. You're like from watching from another planet, looking at Earth. Like Sri Chakra has a circle frame, and you're looking from the outside at the dot. Yeah, what in the world is Earth doing? Yeah. So you may be the alien or the civilization that's watching from outside, and you don't know you are watching other people. Yeah, the universe is watching you. So that's why they say God is watching you because you got many universes. Yeah, God watching. Everybody have a body that's human, and everybody from their own different layers is watching you. So it's like CCTV camera. Yeah. When you're walking, there are some people who say they see, it seems like there are many eyes watching me. This is the reason. It's like CCTV camera. But it's just, what will you do if you're being watched? Are you doing stuff which is going to have you be guilty or have to go confess? If you're doing the right things, even if camera jitna paas aana chahe, yeah, you're doing your stuff. And you can see what you can see. Even if I have to, even if I tell in many words, it's going to take your own time to understand what am I talking about. So I'm just doing my stuff. You'd like to know anything better? If any of this brings a better solution or has a better understanding of what you're dealing with, why you're dealing with things, or how you could do things better, or you'd like to know how to do things better, contact me. Yeah, because that's what this work is about Shrishti optimization. Yeah, and Shri Chakra is a frame of reference. Thank you so much for your kind interest. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.